Oh, there it is. My hair looks like shit.
I don't even look at my hair. I don't even care right
I'm all beat up.
now. Okay, yeah. Stream is healthy.
All right.
Here, I'll give you this one.
Are you guys recording?
People can
There's
follow me.
cameras up there.
Oh.
Okay, man, that was
a mess.
a mess, but we fixed it.
It's all right.
I think.
We are early.
Yeah, so we had time to sort out that problem.
Hold on. It says
Which
up next 28 seconds.
Oh, doesn't matter. Okay.
What happened?
No, nothing. So I don't know if anybody can really hear us. I don't know if we're live. It looked like we're live, so I'm just gonna assume we are.
Let me check. Hold on.
All right.
Should I check?
Technical difficult. Oh my gosh! Now he tells me no. You don't need
Oh
to
yeah,
check.
there's audio on there.
Okay, so
Can you hear it?
yeah. Okay. Anyways,
What's
welcome
up?
everybody to the Haph-Ast podcast. I am your host, Carlos.
I am the other host, Joaquin.
And as seen on the thumbnail that we have for this episode, what we're going to talk about today are movies that we didn't get to see because they never got made, which is sad because these movies would be pretty dope. And at least we, along with a lot of our friends, would really enjoy these movies.
Yeah, a lot of these are probably just gonna be like properties or franchises that either never had their time in the shine on the silver screen, and or probably was an original like property or concept that was maybe promised or like teased at for another film.
Yeah,
we never got it.
There's a great deal of movies that never get made. They basically stay in production limbo where there's people talking about it. There's people floating around the script. There's directors that are being talked about, talked to, be like, hey.
Brought in, thrown out.
That's
brought
a big
in or
problem
dropped.
too.
That happens a lot.
And
Creative differences.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some funding issues that they run into and some licensing issues that they run into. But I think for the most part, I really don't know what would have caused those or these to have not gotten a production, because we have terrible movies like the Warcraft movie and similar movies that do get made, and it's simply on the back of something that's popular at the time or something that's been popular for a number of years. And that's why I think a lot of the movies that we're going to talk about today, or a lot of the intellectual property that we're going to talk about today, it surprises me that we haven't seen these movies.
Yeah. Again, there's to, kind of like follow up with Carlos just said. Most of them are just production limbo.
Yeah.
Talked about, greenlit, and then just dropped off the face of the earth. So,
can you think any off the bat, off the top of your head, that have not been made because of that? And the only one I can think of that we talked about last time, but was like not really announced that it was getting made, but it's basically there, was Akira.
Oh yeah, and then that one's kind of like, that one's basically has a director now. I'm pretty sure we mentioned that last time, but I mean, like we said, things just happen, people drop out, the usual.
I think it's at the point where it's coming out of limbo.
yeah, it's like peeking its head out.
Yeah.
But off the top of my head, something I do remember, and I don't know if you ever played this on the Xbox 360, was a video game called Kane and Lynch Deadman.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that.
It was one of like those like rare, like really good co-op story games.
Yeah.
One person plays as the I forgot, he's like he has the wife and daughter that he's like kind of like removed from the picture. And he's I think they pull off heists. It's like a bank robber or something like that.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he has to do one last job to like get his family back on track, him back on track, and he ends up getting paired up with a this borderline, sociopath, psychopath. I don't even know what to call him. He's just his character name. I believe he was Lynch, but he's just this like loose cannon, can't be controlled, just flat out murderer.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be the cool, calm, and collective guy teamed up with like the
crazy
the
dude.
crazy loose cannon.
Yeah.
That one did have I believe it did have a director, and it had 2 leads already attached to it. And the director, off the top of my head, I just can't even think about. I didn't bother bringing it up because who knows how far back that is. But the 2 names attached to it were Bruce Willis and Jamie Foxx. So when I first saw those 2 casting choices, my first thought was, oh wow, Bruce Willis as like the loose cannon because he has that balding long hair, and then Jamie Foxx, a cool collective. I think that was a what was it? Different race because they were 2 white guys.
Yeah.
And then, they brought
Yeah, I do
Jamie
remember
Foxx in his as the lead as I believe Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, instead of who I assumed was gonna be, the Kane, the cool, calm, collective character as Bruce, as Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
No, they flat out said, "Oh, we've swapped the characters, so it would have been Jamie Foxx as Lynch, the loose cannon, and Bruce Willis, the cooler head of the 2."
Yeah.
Which, if you see the characters or know what they look like, then right away like that's a really weird take on those characters.
Yeah, and it sounds like a really weird take, mostly because Bruce Willis seems like he can do the crazy stuff, but I think I've seen him more in like a very calm, collected, like very calculating
It's like
character.
stoic.
The only thing I can think of Jamie Foxx in anything else that's crazy like that is a Django. Like he doesn't go crazy, like off the walls crazy, but like a lot of the stuff he does is pretty intense. But I don't.
There was that
really see
movie,
that.
Horrible Bosses. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
I think
one,
I saw like half that.
Okay, he had a character in there. We might get flagged for saying it, but his name was Mother Effer Jones.
Every time I hear crazy names like that, I think of a pimp named Slickback. Can't even
named
say it.
Slickback. What was that
That was
from,
probably the
dude?
best name. That was from the Boondocks. But that was just the best name. It's like, oh, Mr. Slickback's like, no, it's a pimp named Slickback. Like he had to say the whole thing. I always thought that was cool. But off the top of my head, I don't think I can really remember any particular franchise that did have a movie in the works but didn't get one.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're out there, and if I like looked into it, I'd probably be able to find.
You'd be like, oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, but just because like we were talking about this right before the stream, I think my head was just in the mindset of like, oh, what would we want to watch? And off the back of the trailer, as you can see, I got all these cards out because I have them here at my desk. Magic the Gathering came out with a new set. The latest set is called War of the Spark. And it's basically like the culmination of all the things that have been happening throughout the years. And pretty much since the inception of Magic the Gathering. Because the main antagonist of the series is called Nicol Bolas, which is like a dragon wizard.
What is their name?
Nicol Bolas. Like Nicolbolas.
Dude,
Nicol Bolas. Yeah, it's
a
a
lot
weird
of these
name.
are like so over my head.
That one was weird because it's like super old school stuff. But he's basically just trying to become a god. And this whole war is basically a war of the entire plane of Ravnica, because we grew up like around that time.
I forgot where I started, but I think I ended a little after Cold Snap maybe, and I kind of jumped back in at a certain point. But
This was around the time when we were both in high school, though. I do
Okay.
remember like that stuff floating around. But yeah, the entire plane of Ravnica, which is just a planet covered in an entire. It's basically Coruscant with wizards. It's basically So it's a giant wizard dragon versus an entire planet full of wizards and crazy people.
That sounds dope.
Like it is pretty cool. And you said you saw the trailer, because every now and then like they'll come out with these animated trailers, and this one happened to catch a lot of people's eye, partly because it is Magic. This one was like a fully animated one rather than just these like, because they don't normally do like a whole animated one. It's mostly just like pictures that they animate, and it's like it's not.
You know what it reminded me of? A trailer for World of Warcraft. Because they
They're
go
known
into
for that.
high end. Blizzard goes full on with their high end trailers for their properties, and when I first saw it, I immediately assumed it was probably
It's like a WoW expansion.
like something, wow. Because as far as I know, I don't think I've ever recalled seeing a trailer for Magic. Like
They've never done one like that I can remember. And so that in the trailer, you get to see the dragon basically like doing his thing, and
tear it up.
he's basically tearing
it
everything
up.
up. And you see one of the wizards, one of the planewalkers. Her name's Liliana. She's a necromancer who's basically enslaved by this dragon, and she has to control like an undead army that goes out throughout the plane killing people. And she kind of sees everything that she's doing and decides like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm reversing it, and I'm throwing everything back on him. Despite the fact, and this is more to the lore, she does this despite the fact that she will die, essentially. Like, she is enslaved by this dragon, and if she does anything to turn on him, he has the power to just wipe her out. And that's what you start to see in the trailer. Is she like turns all the army around, sends it back at him, and she starts disintegrating basically.
Yeah. See that looked wild when I was watching it. I mean, honestly, I didn't know what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
I just like kind of assumed like she was giving herself up for something,
Yeah.
But
You definitely get that vibe, but that's pretty much what happened. But it did look like a movie trailer. If you weren't if you didn't know what was going on and you're just kind of like, what are the spark? What is this? Just click.
From any of the expansions or I wouldn't say expansions. Is that what you call them?
Yeah, sure.
Just the sets, I guess. Were there any in particular characters or cards or like lore that you wanted to see as like you maybe thought like, oh, that would work as a movie?
Oh, okay. So this is a question I've thought of before because I did want to write one. I did want to write a show set on Ravnica because I feel like it's right for drama.
Which one's Ravnica?
Okay, so Ravnica is the one I was telling you about right now. Like, it's basically Coruscant. Like the entire the entire planet is a city. Like, everything's essentially been cultivated, and the city itself, like, it refers to the city. But again, the city's the entire world, the entire plane of that existence, essentially. It's run by 10 different guilds.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of guilds. And that's the only thing that I think would kind of like be annoying with like trying to keep everything in line. But I think each guild is designed, like they look, they act, they just are very, very different. Like they all have different goals.
Oh, okay.
But I think they're different enough to where it's not that far off. Like I don't think that will really cause any type of problems in terms of people watching. I don't think they'll be like, wait, who's doing this again? It's like, no, they're very color combo oriented because in Magic there's 5 different colors and the total number of 2 color combos is 10.
Okay.
So every guild is a combo of 2 colors. That doesn't matter. The fact is, there's 10 different guilds. They all have differing objectives, and I would want to see them play out because you have the cops, which are basically the Azorius, the lawgivers, and the lawbringers, I guess you could say, which are directly opposed to the Gruul, which are very barbarian, anarchist, just crazy dudes. And just the feel of those 2 alone and the look of those 2 alone, because the Azorius are very like robed. They got metal armor, or they use spells and magic to like shut things down. And the Gruul are very barbaric. They got bones, they got fur, they got the mohawks, they got the war paint. Like just those 2 alone.
My kind of people.
Yeah. Yeah, like you don't have to know much about that. You don't even have to know their names. You just have to see them on screen and know these guys are the anarchists, these guys are the law.
Cool.
And we have a lot of those built into the setting already. So that Ravnica itself, I think, is perfect for a show or a movie, which is why I think this set was like, this is where they decided to have this giant battle.
Yeah.
Is Ravnica because of all that already. And then they throw on all these other like planeswalkers or powerful wizards.
Those the planeswalkers, those were the ones I wanted to bring up because those just seem like that's a whole nother breed of like card and character.
See, that's another thing,
especially like in the movie, like if you were to make a movie and or maybe a show.
Yeah.
Like,
So brief description: a planeswalker is basically a powerful wizard who is able to walk between the planes, so they can go from one reality to the next.
Okay.
At will, because I think in Magic there really isn't a way to do it outside of being a planeswalker. Like I don't think there's any spells that will let you do that. So there's very, very few of them that exist. But I think following them through the planes could also be a pretty cool like use of them in a movie or a show. Like because you can be like, oh, we're here for this. It's very like Star Wars too. Like they jump from planet to planet kind of thing. So it'd be very, very similar.
There's like every different world or realm always has like their like, what is it? Kind of like they're different. Like they're like kind of like a gimmick to them. Almost.
Yeah, almost like a theme, like a flavor.
Like what was the ones I always remember, and they were some of my favorite artwork. Were the Dark Steel.
Oh yeah, that's Mirrodin.
Mirrodin. Okay, yeah, Mirrodin. That was one of the sets I think where I first jumped in.
Okay, yeah.
And was it? I don't remember if they were in there as well, or they were. I know they were. They were previous cards prior, but I think there was Urza's Tower and all of those other. Was that in the same set? I feel
That's
like
not. No. I don't think that was in the same set. But I know what you're talking about. That's a much older set.
Yeah, it's. Oh, I know it was like an older set, but I know like sometimes they.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So
in like a certain set or something like that. But
a quick description: Mirrodin is basically like a metal planet.
Yeah,
like everything's very tied to the metal. Like the plants are metal, the animals are somewhat metal.
I think, you know what I think I like? Why I think I liked it?
Yeah,
it probably just reminded me too much of like Transformers or Beast Wars or something. Like
it definitely had that feel to it. But I mean that already contrasted with Ravnica, which is just a giant city.
Yeah,
this is like Metal World.
So it was a lot of like empty space.
Yeah,
when you see like there's like an image on the card.
Yeah. So
there's like a giant tank rolling in, and there's just like desert, like flat white, like it looks like a salt flat or something like behind them.
Yeah, the planes and all the settings in Magic definitely lend themselves to really cool visuals.
What was the one? You remember Saucy, our friend Saucy?
Yeah, Saucy.
He went. I think he always went by like Dark Steel, or like he always ran a Dark Steel deck.
Oh, okay.
But and I always remember that creature. It was a Darksteel Colossus, because just like the image of it, just like all tall and lanky.
It was
like,
very Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes, and I think that came out right before Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, it came out right before.
So when Shadow of the Colossus came out, I was just like, whoa.
You know what's funny?
What is this?
You think of Darksteel Colossus, right?
Uh-huh.
So Darksteel Colossus is basically a creature in the game where if you get hit with it twice, you're dead. Not only that, you can't get rid of it. It's indestructible. So it's like if somebody plays it, you're screwed in 2 turns unless you can block or unless you can somehow get rid of it, which is very, very difficult. But
I remember there was being a way to do it.
there's a way to do it. But not only that, because you remember Darksteel Colossus. You don't remember Blightsteel Colossus.
I remember the name. I don't remember what it did.
Yeah, it's basically Darksteel on crack. It was worse. It was a lot worse.
Let's see. What was the other? Was it Platinum Angel? The one where you can't lose or you
Oh,
can't lose and your opponent can't win.
Platinum Angel. See, that would even be.
There was a whole set of angels too. I think.
there was a lot of
Sarah
those.
Angel.
Sarah Angel.
I have those. I think somewhere.
You had Avacyn. You had Platinum Angel. You have. There's a lot of them. Anyways, but I mean, this is one franchise that does lend itself very easily to all this stuff, which amazes me that there isn't anything for it.
Yeah,
like this is a 25-year-old game.
We've
never seen a movie.
A big comparison I mentioned right now or at the beginning was Blizzard with World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
that did it got Warcraft, I guess, as a movie some years back, and that I felt was overdue. I don't think I've sat through that whole movie, but a lot of my friends say that the story's not all there, but the visuals and like the world and the lore, just like it works on screen.
A giant cutscene.
Yeah, like it can work as just like a kind of like a spiritual successor to the stories in Warcraft apparently, but. This dude, it's amazing. Like, how long has this game been around and it just hasn't got like even like some cheap like animated movie or TV show or cartoon like Lord of the Rings did back in the day, like with that 70s Hobbit movie.
Yeah,
like
yeah. So I just saw that somebody was in the chat right now.
I was gonna bring that up.
I recently found out that all those cards tell multiple stories for different characters. Blew my mind, honestly. I just collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards because they looked cool.
So Trouser Schnauzer, that's actually one of our friends, Eric Alberto.
Wait, which Eric?
Eric Alberto. I don't know if he hung out a lot with hangs out with Martin. Long hair, metal as hell. I don't know.
I'd probably, if I saw him, I'd probably remember.
Yeah, but they I don't know. Eric, do you guys still play Magic? Because if so, I got a deck and I'm down to try and remember how to play. But he mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
It's had its. Was it a show first or was it like the card game?
It had a manga.
Oh, okay. Well,
a
see,
show.
I'm dumb. So,
it had a card game. I don't know when. I think they kind of came out simultaneously. And then they ended up having a few movies.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
But it was basically just an extension of the show.
They're just like okay. They're just like 3 shows, like 3 episodes packed into one.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, do you think that would work as like a live action movie?
I don't think
somehow?
that would work. I don't think. They could definitely do something cool with it. I just don't know what it would look like. It'd have to be something so stripped down in terms of like what the game is on screen. Because if we saw somebody playing Yu-Gi-Oh, it'd be pretty boring.
Yeah. I don't know. Dude, that show got me hyped up.
Well, the show was pretty good in like hyping up the consequences of losing the battles and stuff.
Yeah, with the life points attached, like. See, that's something
that
dope
would
you
have
could
to be
do, like you what was it that just came out? Ready Player One, how he wears he wears a suit, so if he takes damage in the game, he feels it in like the real world. Kind of.
It'd have to be something like that. But again, like watching somebody play, there'd have to be something where for us, the audience, to know like how good something is on screen, rather than just seeing like, oh, it's a bigger number than the other guy.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like.
It'd be fun to watch.
Dude, just make those old school shadow games, like where you gotta like, oh, you get all these, like there's like a stack of cards in someone's hands, and like you can get as many cards as you want from that stack, but you have to like stab like you got to stab a dagger through the cards, so you keep what you take. So if you're greedy enough, you'll just straight up stab through to your hand and take those cards.
Yeah.
Like I'd want to see some crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. That would be cool. Or I'd want to watch it, but it'd have to be like it'd have to take place in ancient Egypt when they used to play
Yeah,
like, on
see,
the
like
tablets.
something
That
like
would be
that,
cool.
dude. Like
That I'd probably want to see.
I
But
actually want to. You know what, dude? Though, like, what would be cool, and it would probably remind me of kind of what we were talking about with Aladdin, how the genie has stuff from like current pop culture,
yeah.
and you see like real world stuff, like in Aladdin, like he's got like headphones on or something, but obviously, you know, they don't have, you know, boom boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool to see like a character like Jinzo, but like in ancient Egypt?
Jinzo. Yeah, that'd be weird. Or like the ZYX dragon cannons or whatever.
Yeah, dude, like XY's outstanding dog Marin.
Little D.
So I'm gonna I totally forgot what this guy's name is. I'm gonna like bring it up right now.
Sure.
But
Buster Blader.
Buster Blader.
Martin might play still. I never tried Magic. Bro, you need to try Magic. Magic is like Yu-Gi-Oh, but 10 times better with better lore and better looking cards. We always play Yu-Gi-Oh. I watch a Magic the Gathering show movie though. I dig the vibe of the game. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, it's very fantasy.
I'm gonna bring up a guy named Guns Blazing on YouTube.
Yeah.
This guy does.
Oh, you told me about
yes.
this.
Okay, so he has one about Giga Gaga or Gaga Geek. I don't even know, dude.
Giga Gaga Gigo.
Giga Gaga Gigo, and
Stupid name.
he takes like a bunch of cards that feature him in it,
Oh yeah.
and he basically turns a whole story out, like the flavor text at the bottom or like at the bottom or on the card. He takes some of that and he's putting together these weird stories with those cards based off the flavor text and the picture.
Yeah.
That's not like all stuff that would be really like I guess canon, but he's coming up with these things, and if that is like the actual story, then respect for, you know, showing us what they are. But if
Yeah,
you
for
guys
sure.
can check out this guy named Guns Blazing.
Yeah, see, Magic is very heavy in the lore. Like I can there's cards I memorize, but even more so, there's a lot of flavor text I memorize simply because of like how much weight it has on the lore and like how important the scene depicted is.
Yeah.
And I think that's a bit far for someone that just kind of plays, but there are some pretty cool things. Like one I can think of, and they do this a lot. Like they kind of build up the world through the cards. So there's phrases that are used, like not slang, but just like common phrases used in this world, like in the. What is it called? I think it's In the Eye of a Lion or something. Because there's a card called Lion's Eye Diamond.
That's in we're talking about Magic.
Magic.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
So something being in the eye of a lion is like, I think it's being like very attention to detail oriented. I could be wrong. I don't remember. But they make up a lot of phrases. And then they add like little backstories to this stuff. And then you actually have a card that does that thing. Especially when the card, the thing that it does basically embodies the phrase.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of other ones now because there's quite a bit of them. But shoot, I don't remember. I'll have to grab all those cards again. It's the goat.
It's the goat. I'm about to mention it right now. Dark metal Giga Gaga Gigo.
He was a water type, right?
He was water and then he turned dark.
Oh, he turned dark.
Yeah,
Dang.
so that's the thing is like this dude like.
See, that was my thing back in the day, though. I always had a water deck.
Uh-huh.
Same thing with Pokemon. I always had a water type Pokemon.
Uh,
So that's the only reason I really know that one.
so speaking of Pokemon, like we're getting the live action.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
dude. We had like Pokemon the first movie 2000.
they've all been like animated though.
and they've all just been like animated in the style of the show. What do you think of those the fur textures on these new ones?
I don't enjoy seeing that
I think it's just weird to see
with like real things. I don't. I think most of the time I don't really picture Pokemon as furry. So it's like when I do see the furry ones, I'm like, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, like what is it? Jigglypuff's supposed to be a balloon type Pokemon. I think that's what she is, from what I remember. But
I could imagine it being furry, but seeing it on screen, I'm like.
But if she's like a balloon type, you'd figure she'd just be like this like solid pink, you know?
Yeah. Very Kirby.
Yeah, like
Almost.
I mean, like the Dragonite or not Dragonite. Oh my gosh, what's the name? Charizard. The Charizard in the trailer. How you see like individual scales and he looks snarling.
Yeah.
That looks weird to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm all for it, but
Like I couldn't understand it, but I'm like,
it's just it's just we've grown up knowing them as just these like zero texture like creatures.
Yeah.
So
I want to see if there's a Jigglypuff that sings in that one.
I
that
think it does
that
have the
marker.
microphone, dude.
Oh
Yeah.
man, if it's that Jigglypuff, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, it should be that one. So another series we should probably bring up on basically on the thumbnail.
Okay, yeah.
Our old 90s cartoon that we grew up watching. Man, dude, I love this show.
Damon was saying that he was watching this one recently, I guess.
Oh yeah,
And,
Damon.
Gargoyles. That show, I remember we bought the movie. But
I don't remember there was a movie, dude.
it wasn't just the movie, it was the movie with the game.
What?
And the movie, you had to play like a certain cassette with the game because there were certain things that happened that were
Is this
timed.
like a board game kind
Yeah.
of game? Okay.
I don't remember any of it. I just remember we liked the show a lot. And I don't even remember half the things that happened in that show. I just really, really liked it growing up because they were monsters. Monsters were
So
always like the coolest
they
things.
were a clan of gargoyles that defended Scotland.
There was
And
like
I think they somehow ended up in New York.
So I remember this because this is the first episode and I've seen it a few times. So they basically defended this castle, and then I think they were tricked, and so they didn't defend it when they needed to. And then there was like a wizard that cursed them that says you're basically gonna be stone until the castle is lifted above the clouds, which is basically like, well, you're gonna be stone forever because that's never gonna happen. And then some dude basically just buys and ships the castle to New York and then sits it on top of a skyscraper.
So that's how they end up there?
That's how they end up there, and then that's how they return to normal, which already sounds cool. And I would want to see that in a movie.
Holy smokes. Okay, so I went to Wikipedia right now to try and look up the story.
Yeah.
And so I found a little spot that said film adaptation. In July 2011, David Elliott and Paul Levitt of G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra were hired to pen a film adaptation for Gargoyles.
Really?
That's not the part that I'm really interested in. It says, in June 2018, Jordan Peele pitched his own version of the film to Disney.
Whoa.
That would be sick, dude.
So that was last year.
That was last year that he
That was
pitched
almost
that.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh, Disney, y'all got this Disney Plus coming up.
Dude, this guy. Ryan Reynolds somehow seems like the second best pick for the voice of Pikachu. Danny DeVito should have been the voice.
He should have. I mean, there was that whole. Did you know they actually? They actually took like samples from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Oh, goodness.
and they tested the voice of Pikachu with that.
Funny.
But going back to gargoyles,
I just saw the text right now with Disney. Yes, it was Jordan Peele pitching to Disney.
Jordan Peele, Key and Peele, Get Out,
Us, yeah.
Twilight Zone that's out right now.
Gargoyles.
Characters,
Yeah,
Goliath,
Goliath, which
Keith David, the Arbiter from Halo.
the Arbiter. That's how I think of him now. He's the Arbiter.
That guy's still around, man. You can easily get him for like likeness or something, like even the voice.
See, if it's animated, I could see him as the voice.
I mean like even if he's
it's-
live action,
if
get
it's
him
live
as the
action,
voice, dude.
I would want to see him as the voice, but I don't
It's
know.
like the whole thing we're talking about, like
know.
with James Earl Jones as Simba. Like
know.
you can't imagine anyone else, but you'd want to see someone else.
I guess so. It'd
Keith
be very
David,
hard
like-
for me to see someone else.
At least have him in there as
Wow.
Ed Asner was a character.
What?
What? I don't. I
So
need
you
to
have Goliath, who's the main one.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, 9-9.
They're all named after. I
There
think
was
was it
Hudson, the old dude.
Broadway,
Broadway,
They're all named after
Lexington,
like was it streets?
and then Bronx or Dog.
Yeah.
And then
Well, they all named themselves.
yeah,
To New York, yeah.
they all named themselves after landmarks and stuff. And then who's the lady? Demona, the only one that didn't have a cool.
Eliza or something like that.
Oh no, the
Oh,
the gargoyle lady,
De-
Demona.
Demona.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember, dude. See, I need to rewatch.
Yeah,
these.
dude, this show is good.
Damon, where are you watching these? Because I need to like catch up or.
Mufasa's voice could be like Kratos' situation with Gears of War 4. People will probably grow to, yeah, probably. I mean, first of all, in terms of like a Gargoyles movie, would we see something very similar to the show where it's like, oh, bam, we get the backstory and then we get like adventure that they go on, or we just bam, there's gargoyles here. This is what's going on.
You can do it either way. You could set up something where you see them like just open it up like the original '90s Ninja Turtles, where they just there's no like explanation until halfway.
I don't
through
think
the
there
movie.
needs to be.
Like they're
which-
just we're gargoyles, dog. Like,
I would want to see like a very horror gargoyle.
yeah, like a lot of it. Like,
Very-
I wouldn't say like everything dark. I mean, obviously it has to be dark because that's how they're gonna come out. But it's got to be that like in the shadows, kind of like something you'd want to spawn.
Yeah.
Like we got that '90s one, but that's whatever. But
Yeah. Man, I just kind of want to. This is one I'd probably want to do extra stuff for. Like, this is what we would want them to look like. This is
yeah, I mean, we
like,
could always do that. But
some settings, some
story. I mean, as for story and gargoyles, like
Yeah.
I guess just keep it simple. Maybe just that seems crazy to transfer a whole castle from point A to point B.
Yeah, that seems a
But
bit much.
maybe,
It'd have to be a different backstory.
Maybe they just take the gargoyles from the.
No, I know what it should be.
Like.
No, I
tearing them
know.
off the-
I know exactly what this should be. It should be. It's okay. This is how the movie starts. All right. So the movie starts. World War II battle in Europe. The Americans, I guess, because we're gonna end up going back to the U.S., storm some Nazi depot, right? And they have these. They kill all the Nazis because they have to, and they find all these like gargoyle looking statues, right? And they're all like, what the heck? What is this? And they like try breaking them. They're like, oh, they're not breaking. We don't know what's going on. And they're all scared because it's creepy stuff. Like, we don't know what to do. And then there's like some dude in there's like, we got to take these. Like, they can't be having these. There's like some weird
they're-
lore behind it. Where
They
it's
should
like,
just have them like that. Like maybe open it up with them like taking them, and they just end up in boxes.
yeah, and then they
for,
get
like-
shipped out.
Yeah.
They shipped to New York, and then bam, we got them. We got the
Someone
gargoyles in the
decides
U.S.
to put them on their like rich big tower. And that
Yeah,
ends up
like
being,
he's
like,
specifically buying creepy art. It'd be like very Ninth Gate.
Oh, okay.
If
yeah.
you saw that one, it'd be that's what I partly imagine. So you have like a collector of very, very, very specific books, and he has an entire collection. But now he's collecting very specific art, or in this instance, it would be very specific sculptures.
So, Trouser is again asking, how badass does the word gargoyle sound to you?
Just the arbiters, just gargoyles. Like
We
that'd
are
be
gargoyles.
cool.
I always, every time I hear his voice, I just think of a Requiem for a Dream, and it just grosses me out.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that'd be pretty cool. Like maybe just works of art getting transferred from point A to point B. They get lost somewhere, and then
And then something happens. This guy who bought them knows like the
maybe
spell
they're
to
just,
unlock
like,
them.
like transferring them on an old ship, and then like the ship sinks. Someone finds the ship. Like, let's pull these things out.
There's a lot of things you can do, but then it's like once you have them, once they're like out of the
Like
box and
there's got
they're
be
no
one
longer stone.
Yeah, dude. There's got to be like one battle one, or like there's some sort of catalyst for them to like
one that stays with the Nazis.
something.
So then you got Nazi gargoyle versus all the other gargoyles. I don't know, but that was one I always thought was cool. I think gargoyles themselves as like a monster are just not really a thing anymore. Because back in the day, you had them like all over churches and stuff, and it was like, oh man, it's like evil looking things. Now it's like,
Weren't
it's
there
a-
like gargoyles on the dude? That's something you really don't see. Like,
Yeah,
you
you don't.
get werewolves all the damn time, but give me a gargoyle, dude.
I mean, we even had gargoyles in Hunchback.
Oh, dude, you know why Jordan Peele mentioned gargoyles?
Why?
I just thought about it. I watched Gremlins 2 a few weeks ago. There's that one gremlin that turns into the gargoyle.
yeah.
And you remember his whole like skit on Key and Peele where he's like a movie doctor or something like that. He comes in pitching ideas.
Yeah.
And he does Gremlins 2 and he's like, "Oh, let's get the spider doctor."
Spider
Hashtag more gargoyle representation.
For reals.
Dude, for real.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, I want gargoyles, man. I need more of them.
Very childhood for us.
Graham Goyle. So
Last one? Next one?
the next one, we got time for maybe talk more about
Sure.
it.
Yeah, when was it? Easter. So Easter, we went home, we made some food, and then after a while, me and my brother, we started playing Gears of War 3. We were playing Horde mode, because that was all we had. And
that
man,
one's like the only one you need.
that one was fun. I do like the new one with
Four?
the Horde mode. I do like how they did things.
I don't remember playing 4. I didn't like the robots and stuff.
I didn't mind them. I liked it. Mostly because it was Gears.
What happened?
I just like how they did Horde mode. It was better than the other ones. But
okay.
yeah, we were playing, and then it started me to think about what a Gears movie would look like. Because for those of us that did play, we kind of know like the whole lore. We know like the whole backstory.
Yeah.
So in order for that to be translated to people who haven't seen it, it's like what would have to happen? And the first thought that came to mind was the new Star Trek. So the new Star Trek opens up. You got the Enterprise.
We're talking about like the
Well, not the Enterprise, but
we're talking about the J.J. Abrams.
Yes. So this one,
2007,
this one
8.
starts out with one of the starships out there, and they basically just get attacked by like a random ship, and they're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And it doesn't really give you much info other than there's like this evil ship out there. It can destroy all these Federation ships. You got Kirk's dad, how he gets saved and all
Hemsworth.
that. Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Which, yeah, that opening was pretty good. And that's basically it. That's basically all it gives you.
Yeah, we just get that he manages to save all these people, and what, the ship goes down, or
He goes down with the ship, basically.
Yeah.
Stalls and saves all those other people. And
Okay.
yeah, just kind of
But kind of set up. So in terms of the Gears movie, maybe set up that what were the enemies called? The
the
villains?
grubs, the locusts.
The locusts.
Yeah.
So maybe what set up like a locust attack,
It'd be E-Day.
like opening up with E-Day.
open up with the Gears like doing their normal everyday things, and then
E-Day
bam,
happening.
E-Day happens.
Something real bad just happens.
You
or
get like the
set
main
up a
character,
character or something
with
like
like
that.
a family. Either he separates from his family dies. I don't know what happens. You get the Hammer of Dawns all over the place.
That'd be so sick to see.
Like bam, there's your opening, and then you cut to like 13 years later,
Yeah, I'm down with this already.
and then it's the remnants of all the humans, like slowly like
They're
collecting everybody,
They're
and it's like
kind
all
of
right.
last stand, kind of.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what the games are like.
Yeah.
You could just strip out all the lambent stuff, and just stick with the humans versus the locusts.
Yeah, that's all I want.
That's all you
honestly.
need.
I don't. That exactly.
And then during E-Day, you can set up a boss like what's his name, Rom. General Rom, and
I
bam,
think
there
you
you
could
go.
open up with Rom, dude. Just tearing.
Just killing people.
Just show him like. Remember what's that one dude that everyone like called him Kurt Angle? The
Kurt Angle.
he was the he was the lead in the first one. Not the lead, but like they're like.
They're Kim.
Kim,
Yeah, it was
there
Kim.
you go,
It
Kim.
was Kim Jong. Kim Jong.
I remember a lot of like Alex and Derek and Mitchell. A bunch of people calling him Kurt Angle because he
Kurt Angle.
just is like bald dude
Yeah. That's funny.
with no neck.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just bam, there you go, and then we just have to figure out the bad guy, and then you'd probably have like a lot of crazy stuff that happens in the Gears movies. I don't know if you need the whole like giant worm.
Nah, I think those giant the ones with the big guns is all you need. Like
The Brumax?
The Brumax.
Yeah,
Them.
definitely.
Maybe what was it? The Berserker, the one that like ran around.
Yeah, those would be. Yeah, there'd have to be some of those. Obviously, like the little ones that you just shoot down.
Just essentials from the first one. You don't need to go into deep like crazy.
Pretty much.
Oh,
yeah.
we need more of these egg sacs or whatnot.
You know what I'm thinking too? It should be very, very much like the first one. Like they have like that light mass bomb. They go like whoosh, blow it up, right? And then they realize the tunnels are a lot bigger than they expected. And they're like, "Oh no, what happened?"
TM family, bang bang skeet skeet.
Oh, I sent you this email.
Grand Goyle. What the heck? Wall bouncing galore. Yes, that was me. Gears 1. I was like wall bouncing pro back then. It's Thomas. What's up, Thomas?
Oh, what's
How you
up, Thomas?
doing?
How you doing?
Open up with everyone rolling at the same Yeah. I mean, and see, that's another thing too, is like when you start out, you can show them using the guns like the proper use. They'll be like cutting things.
Yeah.
And then transition
I
to
don't
them
think there's any
cutting
proper
things in
use
half.
for that. Just,
I mean, it
it's
seems-
just a chainsaw.
I
on
know,
a machine gun.
but it's just okay. Yeah, it's just cool though.
what are they gonna do? Like saw some wood? Like,
I guess.
I mean, I
don't
guess
know.
it works better than the little shovels
Dude, they come across like a crate of like the retro lancers, and they're
with,
just
the,
like
with the blades on top.
bayonets. Yeah, that'd be dope. That's the movie I wanna
Characters.
watch.
Will we Gears and beers?
Gears and
dude,
beers.
that sounds like a weekend.
That does, dude. I remember this one day, me and some friends were trying to beat Horde mode. We were trying to do all 50 levels, and things kept going so wrong. Like at the later levels,
Yeah.
it was bad.
I think when Gears 3 came out,
Yeah,
it was me, Saucy, his friend Jarrell, and I believe Martin.
yeah,
And it was we had like the four, the
Yeah.
4-man team,
yeah.
and we were trying to beat the game the night it came out.
Oh, like the campaign?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like 6, maybe 7 o'clock in the morning, dude. And we got to the end where there's like the train. You know how you gotta like run and get past the train?
Oh yeah.
We got there and Saucy was just in the chair, passed out like this, and we were trying our hardest to like
Stay up.
no like use his controller and
Oh,
just do it with
goodness.
3 guys.
Oh
And
goodness.
we needed him to stay up long enough to run past that point. Canals, dude. Yeah, I'm reading that.
Thomas
right
knows what's up. Oh man, Gears 1 snipes
Snipes.
canals. Oh, that was the map. Oh, I hated that because everybody's like 5 seconds in, and everybody's running for the torque bow in the middle, and I was like, no, I don't need that. Just directly for the sniper. Oh man, that was such a good. I love that game. That game was so good. Look up.
I played Gears though 2v2 with Socram Marcos.
Marcos?
Calix.
Marcos?
I don't know if you remember. He was there, I believe, a year or
Oh!
2 younger than us.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
No, dude, they were always there at the LAN parties.
Oh
Marcos and
my
them.
goodness, I forgot about the LAN parties. That was
I
annoying.
think they were there.
Because there was those dudes.
I know. I remember it was
There was those dudes that
was
cheated.
it Miguel Bustos? I don't know if he. Well, not calling him a cheater, but I was just trying to remember.
Oh
like,
no, I'm talking
like-
about. I don't remember their names because I didn't care. I just knew they cheated. But Beast Mode. I didn't play Beast Mode all that much.
I don't remember.
Beast Mode was when you actually took control of the locust, and you can like pick the locust, and you had to kill the humans. They were basically all hunkered down, and you had a certain amount of like money, and then you can buy certain enemies. So you could buy the locust, you could buy the tickers, you could
okay.
buy like the riders, you could buy like a Cantus. I don't know
Yeah.
if you could buy a boomer, but you like the farther you got, the more money you'd get, and like the more difficult the enemies would be. But that was a pretty fun mode. I just didn't play it all that much.
As for a movie, who would you do you want the lead characters from
I think all you really need is Dom and Marcus,
Marcus Phoenix,
and then
with an
maybe
F?
like the general, probably Anya, probably the president guy, but he's not that important. Just a president guy.
Essentially the lead characters from like the first game.
Yeah, mostly because like people have already seen them. And they kind of know.
Who do you-
That's Gears of War.
Yeah. Thomas is saying Dom is a must.
Dom has, yeah. Like,
So I mean, we got if Dom's a must, then Berto's saying no Baird.
No Baird. Baird
That's-
was the wackest part of that game.
Nah, dude, I liked playing as Baird. he had the goggles.
No, we need
Dude,
Cole.
Coltrane.
Coltrane, yeah, dude. Coltrane's dope.
So as for I don't know, dude. Every time I played as Baird, I'd always be like, the goggles, they do nothing. But
All the Carmines can die.
obviously everyone made the comparison with Cole to Terry Crews
I can see that.
as someone who could like play him in a live action movie.
He can do it.
I'd be down for that. My idea, and honestly, it's just like, why not at this point? And I just make it a WWE Studios movie, like in
yeah.
partners with Microsoft or was it Epic?
All
Just
aboard.
dude, just cast WWE wrestlers, man.
And they have the look already.
They have the look. They're big. They look like they can rock that armor. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to see like 2 chains and like in giant armor.
Yeah, it looked weird. I mean, Terry Crews could do it easily.
He
though.
could, I mean, he could do it.
He's
Dude.
got
If
it.
it's not him, it's got to be The Rock.
I'm trying to think of other guys.
But
that
I doubt
could.
like you'd make The Rock like 4th, on the list as
Yeah.
characters. Marcus.
I'm thinking.
Batista.
Yeah,
Just throw a do rag on him.
yeah. I can see it.
Dom. Just get the guy who played the Punisher, dude. Thomas in the chat. Steroids is a requirement for casting.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the contract.
Must-
Wait, which guy did you say for Dom?
Dom, John Bernthal from the Punisher series on
Oh,
Netflix.
Brock Lesnar is Baird.
Brock Lesnar is Bear.
God. The goggles.
I want John Cena as Bear, dude.
Oh,
Just bleach his hair.
Yeah. John Cena. Yeah, I can see John Cena.
He is that like upbeat guy,
Yeah. Man,
Just make it like Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know Guardians of the Galaxy.
Trouser, everyone died in Fury, of course. Talking about John Bernthal.
Oh yeah.
Um,
no, I know who you're talking about. I was just like, yeah. Dude, oh my gosh! Speaking of that guy, I just saw Shot Caller the other day.
The one with Jamie Lannister?
Yeah, and he was in there. That guy does such a good job of playing somebody like you want to hate.
Thomas, Captain America. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. Until I'm going to go watch it Thursday, so we might...
Thoughts on Endgame? Who's dying?
We might talk about that.
Everyone.
Well, everyone died in Infinity War, so...
That everybody else is gonna die in Endgame.
Everyone who didn't die in Infinity War...
It's just everybody but Thanos, and then he's gonna get lonely, and he's gonna be like, everybody's back. There you go. That's what's gonna happen.
Reset.
That was basically that one comic.
Spider-Man. Infinity War.
No, it was the one after.
Oh, I don't remember. But,
Anyways. Batman. Batman's dying.
I want Batman as Baird is what I want.
So yeah, there's our Gears movie.
Gears. Just simple, just open it up, go
E-Day.
from there.
Yeah.
Same premise. Bomb, was it light bomb?
The light, yeah, I don't remember. It was a light mass bomb.
Light mass bomb.
Yeah.
So are there any other franchises off the top of your head that, maybe came to mind?
I had a list. Let me check my list real quick. Because I did have a few.
I'm going to bring one up real quick.
Go for it.
And this is something that actually was an original film that didn't get a sequel.
Yep.
Nor do I really think it needs a sequel? No. Did it feel like it was set up for one? Yes. District 9.
Oh yeah.
Forgot
about that one.
I want to know what happened to Vicus.
Yeah.
Because he stays on the planet, right? Like all the other ones take off, and there's like a handful that kind of stayed.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to come back for them. Carl was named Carl Johnson. The main whatever they were called, cricket, locust, whatever.
Prawns.
There you go. Fucking prawn, man.
Yeah, I really I need to watch that movie again. That was a good movie.
Dude.
That one, yeah, I would want to see.
So, speaking of District 9, the director, Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
For a while, it something that was kind of in production hell and I think still is, or never even got it. It's getting a show now. He was originally, him and Peter Jackson were supposed to team up for a Halo movie.
Really?
Yeah, that was something that was like, oh, everyone, he's like the guy to do it. Look at District 9. And then I think Elysium happened and everyone was like, oh.
Oh.
And I think that was him just trying to do that.
It felt like it. They did really tie a lot of the like more sci-fi elements to it, which like they kind of really did build out that world in terms of like all the ships in the back and the little suit that he had on and all the other little stuff that they used. The little healer thing healed the dude's face. They had a lot of
that was gnarly, dude.
They had a lot of elements in that movie that I liked. Overall, it was all right.
Yeah, I honestly, Trouser came into the chat again saying Peter Jackson doesn't seem like the best choice though.
For Halo,
that dude's gonna make like 40 more Lord of the Rings movies. I doubt it. I'd probably want someone else to like take the helm. I mean, Showtime is doing it now, so
yeah.
Or
so
a
this Halo
series.
one,
they're doing a series.
Halo series, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. See, that one's one where it's like if you're gonna do a movie, it's just gonna be Halo 1 story.
Yeah.
If you're doing a series, it doesn't necessarily have to be.
That could be anything, dude. Like Master Chief doesn't even need. I feel like he's not necessary.
He's not. But if there isn't a Spartan, I think it seems kind of weird.
Yeah, he is confirmed for the show.
Yeah.
what's it? Do you watch American Gods or have you seen that show?
I
heard of it?
have heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
Ooh, I forget what else he's in. He's in a lot of other things, but he's just kind of like that guy.
Halo at
But there's a
least.
dude who's already cast as Master Chief,
Okay.
and he plays a leprechaun in American Gods,
Nice.
and he's not like the typical leprechaun. They're not typical leprechauns. He's like this like tall ass like buff dude.
I doubt it'd be some tiny dude. But okay. So
Dude,
Halo.
ODST, Trouser brought it up right now. That was probably one of my favorite stories in Halo.
Yeah. ODST was
dude,
good.
just bring back the cast. Nathan Fillion.
That's all you have to do. Dude, that's actually, that'd be interesting. Because it'd be like Halo, but not really.
Yeah, dude, ODST was dope.
The trailer for ODST.
I want to
was
replay
dope.
that one, actually.
The trailer for ODST was like the coolest trailer ever. I don't know if you remember that
No,
one.
I don't. Actually.
Oh, so good. Oh, and you guys have to go back and watch the trailer for ODST, the live action trailer for ODST.
It was still Halo 3?
Halo 3 ODST, wasn't it?
Is that what it was?
I thought it was after 3.
Because
if I remember
so
correctly.
it's just like Call of Duty then, like where it's like
Yeah, it was
Call
just a
of Duty
bit.
and then-
That one introduced Spartan Vision, right?
I don't remember, dude.
Because they had like that weird little scanner thing. Man, I need to go back and play that one too. Because that one was.
I
good.
really liked Reach though.
Even the Fall of Reach is a movie. It'd just be a good one.
Oh, dude, I didn't know this cast was like okay. So what?
It's happening during Master Chief's adventures. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay,
yeah,
dude,
that makes more
I'm just
sense.
gonna bring this up right now. I did not even know this. I just remember Nathan Fillion being the lead.
Yeah.
They just got the cast from Firefly to voice everyone.
That's funny. I don't think I ever.
That never clicked to me till now. It was
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion as Buck,
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk as Mickey, Adam Baldwin as Dutch, and Patricia Helfer as Dare.
It's funny.
And then Nolan North, character, he's known for a lot of voice acting, but
Yeah.
dude, that really makes me want to go back and replay ODST.
Man. So I think the thing about this one is you can take it multiple ways. Like you can go Halo 1, we find out what the Halo is, and then we obviously have to blow it up. You could go the ODST route, where it's like there's stuff going on, but this ODST mission is basically like what we're following. You could go. See, here's another one too. Is you can go like the Flood route.
Oh, dude,
And the Flood is basically just a bad guy. We got to get rid of the Flood, and probably gonna end up firing off a Halo.
got brought up in the chat. A movie about the Covenant. Just
Yeah,
even if you just brought them out, or even just about them setting it up for like the Spartans or something. Or
yeah,
there's a lot with the series now. They have those weird. I don't like the way they look because they look like characters or enemies from the Metroid, like Metroid 3 or Metroid 1 and 2, like the ones on GameCube.
yeah,
Remember the enemies, the way they looked on there?
yeah.
The enemies in the latest Halo remind me of like enemies from that, and it just kind of like tunes me.
What
Okay,
was
Metroid Prime.
What was the last Halo that came out then? That was like the Guardians or whatever,
Or
right?
Guardians. I think just those. I don't know, dude.
Ah,
I stopped really paying much attention after 3.
okay. I think I played 4 and then 5, and then after that I was
Then
done.
like I said, ODST was just kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, it was just I remember it being a fun game, and then 5.
Halo
Trousers.
5. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just human characters. Focus on them.
Yeah.
And then have, dude, you know what I would really love? And I kind of hope that the show does this. What was, you've seen Band of Brothers, right?
Yeah.
What was the badass's name? Remember he would like jump in and out of episodes? Like, oh, we're stuck behind enemy lines, and he would just run and gun his way from point A to point
I
B.
don't remember.
They should just make that like,
Dude, yeah, I don't know if you were in the class with us, but
for Newkirk.
No. This was summer school.
No,
Me and Alex were in the class, and I remember because they basically made us watch that show for the class.
uh-huh.
And then I think it was the class after we had finished the series, the teacher's dad came in. Like, he basically brought him in to talk about World War II.
Oh wow!
I was like, that was pretty dope.
No, I wasn't there for that. Actually,
Newkirk, yeah.
I had a film as literature in,
yeah.
for my senior year.
Okay.
And that was a part of our, wouldn't say a final. Maybe it was a final. It was one of the last things we watched, like, in the class.
Yeah.
And what is it, like, is it 6 episodes, 8 episodes? Or, no, that's longer than that. Never mind.
Yeah, no, it was longer than that.
It's like 10 or 12. But we watched all of those episodes, and I think that was the first time I watched it was in that class.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been dope to, like...
I need to watch that one again.
Yeah. I tried to rewatch it like maybe a couple months back.
Yeah.
I think I just jumped into something else, but
Yeah.
it's all on like I think it's all on Prime.
I know the Pacific's on Prime.
On Crime.
I know. It's on Prime. The Pacific's on Prime, and I did want to watch that one. And I heard a lot about that one because of people who had watched Band of Brothers. Like, oh, you need to watch this one. So I'm like,
has
sure.
What was it? Timmy from Jurassic Park as the lead.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, but as for like the Master Chief character,
Yeah.
I'd honestly want him to be like that figure that just he's not really there. Like he's just like the legend that people talk about, and then when he does show up in the battle, it's like crucial.
Yeah.
He's like Wonder Woman in No Man's Land, if you watch
Pretty
that.
much, yeah. No, yeah. But yeah, he definitely... I don't think he should be the main focus, the main protagonist.
Yeah, no, I'm all against that. Like,
Yeah. I think I got enough of that through the games.
Dude.
But
I don't need to see
aside
his
from
face,
that one,
yeah.
the only one... There's two that I have in mind that I would want to bring up, but one I could bring up later.
All right.
The one I think most people would know about is StarCraft.
Oh, damn.
Because that is another one of those. It's a Blizzard one.
Mm-hmm.
If you've
I'm not familiar
seen
with it.
any Warcraft, like the trailers they come out with or all the little cutscenes,
That one.
StarCraft is exactly
yeah.
the same. But StarCraft has like these crazy fight scenes in it.
Mm-hmm.
These like very elaborate, very effects heavy scenes that I think what works with those is like there's a lot of stuff resting on what happens in this fight. Because there's one in particular that I was thinking about the other day where there's these two characters. One of them, they're both like psychic aliens, right? The Protoss.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has like this psychic link that has basically been contaminated, so he's kind of just like bugging out, and he's basically on the enemy side. And then you have the other one, who's gotten rid of that link, who doesn't have the same powers as all the other ones because he's gotten rid of it on his own accord. Now, this is a very sacred thing to them. You do not cut it. Because that connects you to all of your other brothers and your sisters and the entire race.
Is it like the ponytails from Avatar?
It is. So in this fight, the one who's already cut it off, Zeratul, does not do any harm to this other guy. He basically gives his life up to sever the other guy's connection. Because this guy is the leader. Like, he needs to be sane. He needs to lead the rest of his people. So he basically gives up his life to do that. And if he doesn't, everything's screwed because this guy has...
like the general story of it, or is
this is
it
part
like
of it?
Part of it.
Yeah, but just that entire scene, like, always stuck out in my head after playing the last one, because this is part of the last one. Like, it's not really that important, and once people get to it, like, it'll be fine. But there was just like so much weight to that moment, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, I don't like the fact that he died because he was such a good character, but I understand why he did, and I'm like, I'm glad this happened, but I didn't want him to die. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that in the games, which I quite enjoy.
I've never messed with StarCraft.
It
plays more or less just like WoW, or
it's a no, WoW is a MMO, right? I mean, Warcraft is more like, because I think Warcraft is an RTS. StarCraft is an RTS.
okay.
And there's the 3 different races. You have like the whole backstory, but I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. Like, very, very much like the Magic one that we were talking about, how you had the 10 guilds.
Yeah.
In this one, it's broken down to just 3. So you have the humans, you have the Protoss, which are like the psychic alien race. Then you have the Zerg, which are basically like a infestation, like a
Zerg
swarm.
from Toy Story.
No. Yes, but a lot of them.
I just imagine dudes like
Planning on it. Wait, what did they say?
about doing like kind of like a nostalgia episode.
Oh, yeah, no, we can do that.
I feel like a lot of this is nostalgia.
Yeah, a lot of this is, but I think StarCraft would be another one of those cool ones because I think people have seen stuff, and even I was telling my brother, the what's that game? Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, they have like
one of the cards. One of the answer cards is you must construct additional pylons. That's from StarCraft. So it's like definitely creeped into pop
Did you
culture,
buy
but
that
just not
sci-fi
as much.
pack? Or
No.
have you played?
I don't have the game.
Oh,
I've
okay.
played the game. I have an expansion, but I
have an expansion. It's like a sci-fi expansion,
yeah.
and a lot of it's just like gross, like Star Trek stuff or Star Wars stuff, and
yeah.
I think there are more like there's World of Warcraft cards in there
Yeah.
now. One card literally just says Sarah Angel.
That's dope. That's the best card. But yeah, no. I think. See, this is what I was thinking too. Is this one definitely lends itself to large scale battles?
Yeah.
Very Lord of the Rings.
Okay. So it'd be like a big epic kind of like story then, right?
Pretty much,
Or, like,
yeah.
Visuals.
Instead of a
right?
battle of the 5 armies or whatever, you just have 3.
And they're just
Which I was thinking about, like how I would do everything too.
they're dudes in big suits too, like
They're dudes in big suits, yeah. Where it's essentially like the suit gets grafted onto them.
Oh, okay.
So they're like it's almost like Space Marine stuff, like very Warhammer 40K. Like
Oh,
they're
dude,
big
that's
suits.
another thing too. That's like big.
That one I know much less about though.
Yeah.
StarCraft I played since like the first one.
My friend's dad hosts a YouTube show.
Really?
I think I could be wrong when I say it, but they had like a big tournament somewhere here in California, or it might have even been Vegas, and they flew him and his friend out. And I think they were like the commentators.
That's
for
dope.
it. But I know they do something. I'll like if
They're
I
just
remember it, I'll bring it
massive
up next
nerds.
time. Yeah, but yeah, dude, was that more or less like all about like you had to stay with StarCraft, or was there like something else?
Oh no, there's another one I thought of where it's still like it's a comic series that's still going for the most part, I think. I haven't kept up with it. Like the last book, I'm not sure if I read, but I started reading it maybe like 2-3 years ago, and like the first 2 came out. It's called Low.
I don't think it's. That doesn't ring a
So
bell.
this story, it's a very, very basic story where what is this? Got to get going now, guys. Enjoy the topics. Who is that one?
That's the one I was telling you about.
Okay, yeah.
Berto.
Eric, right? Berto?
Yeah, Eric.
Eric. We'll see you
Berto.
later. We'll see you next time. We'll let you know when it is. No, but so the story goes like this. We basically like polluted the entire world. So much so that the humans end up going to live in the water. And they start to go deeper and deeper. Because like everything's getting hot. It's cooler towards the middle. Like the depths of the ocean. So they basically make these cities like in the depths of the ocean. And this is basically like this whole story starts at the point where not only are they already living in these cities, but their filtration systems are starting to fail. Like all the oxygen is being recycled so many times where it's just like not working anymore. Same thing with the water. Like the water is already poisoned, basically. Like they can't filter it anymore. So they're basically just done.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people throughout like the city. They're all they're doing is just partying. They're like, we're gonna die anyway. Like let's just go out with a bang. And there's a family that has basically held to the belief that like they're gonna get out of this. Like they have a way out. Because what the humans did before, like they started going in, is they set out these satellites to go look for other planets that are habitable. And so the story starts at that time period where everything's already going wrong, and this family gets a signal that one of the satellites came back.
Oh, okay.
But the satellite is at the surface of the planet. So they have to go from the depths of the ocean all the way up to the surface. But the surface they've known for a long time has basically just been irradiated.
So are they like trying to bring that thing down?
So they're trying to go up to it, find out where this planet is, and then go to the planet.
Oh, okay.
That's everything.
That's dope.
It's really freaking cool.
You brought that up right now, or the way you're describing that what is a comic series?
It's a comic, yeah.
I need to look this up because that
I have them. I could just give them to you.
Oh, cool, perfect. But you know what that actually reminded me of, and that's something that I believe was supposed to get a movie.
Yeah.
BioShock.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe the director of the original Pirates of the Caribbean was originally attached to that for the longest time. And
for sure.
It just never got like.
That's one I can see too.
Yeah, dude. I think that's something like one of those games that would work as a movie.
Yeah.
You can keep like the general story, but like condense it down. You know, you don't have to introduce so many different like areas or like points in the game.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple, like with the main character. Kind of like the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So that movie's just basura, but
It was good basura.
yeah, it's got its fine aged
I-
cheese, but but just like the guy, ends up down there, doesn't know what's going on, and he's got to fight his way out. Has to basically has to. You know, you don't know why he's there for the most part.
Yeah.
He's in a plane crash. He ends up in this lighthouse. He goes down, comes back up, or doesn't come back up, but it's just navigating through mazes and whatnot. Yeah. That season was cool, dude.
So I think you're the only one of us that's seen it.
I'm the only one that watched it. Thomas brought up The Walking Dead.
The last season. Are they still going, or are they done now?
No, they just started another show, or they're gonna start another show.
So the series is done.
No, they have like 4 spin-offs going now.
But the main one.
The main one's still going.
Oh, okay. So we're on the final season?
No.
Then what is he saying? Thoughts on the last season? Oh, the last season.
Last season. Yeah, it's good. I like it. The whole I think we mentioned it before, like the point in the second half of the season where they like rebooted it.
Yeah.
Got me back in. But back to BioShock. Big Daddies.
It'd be fun to see.
Dude, that would just... You remember the trailer?
I do remember the trailer.
Dude.
I remember the dude getting his hand drilled through.
Imagine
that was crazy.
Imagine that's just the trailer for the movie, though.
That would be... I would watch it.
You know how many people would like jump on that?
Yeah.
Same with another... Well, you know, we'll maybe talk about that on a different episode.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done.
Trailers that get you hyped, but...
Trailers that get you hyped. What were you gonna bring up right now?
No,
or
I'll just
save it for next time.
Like, yeah, well, but as for BioShock, like just kind of circling back to what you're talking about with Low, I like that whole idea of these people that are like or they're going mad, right? Like
Uh,
they're like partying it up. They're just
there's definitely a great deal of people that are doing things that are not normal.
okay.
Some of them have gone crazy. Some of them are just like, it's gonna happen, so might as well just.
Is it like Snowpiercer but under the ocean? You know, every like cart has something weird going on.
No, because it's not. It's not basically just contained in the city. Like stuff happens and then they get out and then they have other settings where stuff takes place. But it's very Snowpiercer in the sense that like there's definitely people that want to stop this, and there is that group of people that kind of just lead the way.
Okay.
But there aren't many people that follow them. Unlike Snowpiercer, they don't really get anybody on their side.
Oh, all right then.
So
That's pretty cool.
I think it's cooler the less people that go with them because it's like it makes it much more difficult for them.
Yeah.
Because of the things they have to go through and the things they're trying to do. Like once they start losing people and they don't get anybody new, you're like, this isn't gonna last. But like this entire comic series does its best to like strip you of hope.
Oh, okay.
It's really
Right.
good at that.
That kind of reminds me of like a vault in Fallout 2.
Yeah.
Like when you mentioned the air filtration's all messed up. That's something that came to mind too.
Yeah. It's a really good series, and I'll let you borrow them, and then I need to probably get the new one, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I think I
because
wanna,
it's really
I
good.
think I kind of want to talk about that like down the line.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
But yeah, we're kind of we've pretty much talked about most of the stuff we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of brought up other things too, but
Yeah.
we're gonna call it a day.
Yeah, I think we're done. So I think Thomas is still left on the stream, but if you guys have anything you guys want us to talk about in particular, I know we had somebody ask us about the Lion King trailer that one time.
Yeah, that was Eli.
If you guys want us to watch anything on stream, we can. Just let us know what you guys want to see. I'm not sure what we're talking about next time, but we'll definitely have one next week.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Keep it half-assed as usual.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you guys next time then.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow. We got our stuff right here at the bottom. So, Ronan Cruz, The Walking Dead. Peace.
Bye.